My daughter reported me at school, but she had no idea just how wrong she was about everything. My 16-year-old daughter Faith told her principal I was a creepy stalker teacher last week. She wasn't wrong. I'd been watching her for 3 months, but not because I wanted to get into her pants. See, Faith didn't know I was her dad. Neither did I until a DNA site notification popped up on my phone in January. 17 years after a one-night stand, I suddenly had a daughter, but I was happy. I never had a family of my own growing up in foster care, and now I did. So I did what any rational person would. I applied for the substitute teacher opening at her school. My first day teaching her history class, I couldn't stop staring. She had my weird monkey ears and that same crooked smile where only one side goes up. She sat there doodling in her notebook instead of taking notes, exactly like I used to. I kept picking on her for questions, doing anything to chat with her, but that only made things worse. She grabbed her backpack and ran out the room instantly when the bell rang, telling her friend in the hallway, "The new sub is so weird." I mean, I agreed with her, but I couldn't help but feel so excited to learn more things about her. I just didn't expect to learn something terrible right off the bat. My daughter was getting bullied. I caught 3 girls pushing Faith under the stairwell, blocking her way. They tossed her sketchbook between them, laughing while she begged for it back. "Aw, look guys, she's crying," one of them mocked. I instantly saw red. "Give it back, now," I shouted. The entire hallway went silent. Teachers usually never screamed like that, but this was my daughter. But Faith looked mortified, like I was the bad guy for helping her. The girls dropped her sketchbook and scattered. She grabbed it and ran off without looking at me. I thought at the time that what I did was protection. So the next day in class, I rearranged the entire seating chart and moved her to the front, away from the bullies. But that only fueled the flame. During lunch, the girls approached Faith, giggling. "Oh my god, Faith, are you dating the substitute teacher? That's such a new low, even for you." Her face turned red. She ran out the cafeteria and started eating lunch in the bathroom, trying to avoid both her bullies and me. I didn't even realize how deep of a misunderstanding we had until the counselor pulled me aside and warned, "You know your student Faith? She's opened up about how uncomfortable you've made her. She says you watch her constantly. Follow her in the hallways in between classes. Please maintain appropriate boundaries or we'll have to let you go." I agreed and tried to keep my distance the rest of the week, but that Friday, I couldn't help it. The whole school gathered in the gymnasium for the school art show. I was excited watching Faith walk up to the microphone with a sculpture she'd been working on for months. This piece is called Inheritance, and it's about the things we get from the parent I wish I'd met. My chest tightened. She pulled the sheet off her sculpture and people gasped. It was beautiful. Delicate clay forming a tree with roots that spelled out questions like, how are we so connected yet so far apart? After her presentation, as she was walking back to her display spot, the girls approached and elbowed the sculpture until it wobbled, then crashed. The auditorium gasped. Faith stood frozen, staring at months of work shattered on the floor. The girl who'd done it covered her mouth in fake shock and yelled, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It was an accident." My daughter stood there trembling, tears filling her eyes. Without a second thought, I pushed through the crowd and jumped between Faith and those girls. "Step away from my daughter," I yelled. Suddenly the auditorium went silent. Faith just stared at me, and suddenly all my creepy behavior made sense. The staring wasn't stalking. It was a father trying to memorize 16 years of missed moments. "That's a cruel joke," my daughter said. I smiled softly. "It's not a joke. I'm your father." She glared at me. "Why? Why show up now when you've been absent my whole life?" "I think I can answer that," Faith's mother said, appearing from the crowd. "I told you growing up that your father didn't want you, but it's a lie. Your father, this man here, didn't even know about you, because I hid you from him." She proceeded to explain how she panicked the night she found out she was pregnant and just ran off without telling me. "I thought you were both better off never meeting, but I was wrong." Her eyes started filling with tears. She bent down and picked up one of the broken pieces from the sculpture. And while it felt nice finally clearing my name, there was an even bigger problem. I took a deep breath and glared at the direction of the girls, clenching my hands into tight fists. Full story on channel linked below.